Hey guys, welcome back. We're just going to go ahead and get right to it while remembering that this is for entertainment purposes only. Got it? Good. Let's go.
Footage of her neighbor's house after observing something quite unsettling. While her neighbors were away on vacation, far from their home, something bizarre was happening inside their garage. Despite their absence, the garage lights had mysteriously turned on. The woman who noticed this strange occurrence as she walked by decided to record the scene. However, as she continued to watch, she witnessed something that left her utterly terrified. Check this out.
You guys see that? That running across? Hmm. You know, when it was just the lights, I told myself it was some sort of automatic lighting system for being away. Really smart. And then I started thinking, okay, well, there's some movement. Maybe they set up something like Kevin McAllister did in Home Alone. How he set up all the people doing the dance party, the Christmas party in the house, so that the burglars thought that there was a party going on and they weren't out of town. Maybe it was like that. Or maybe it was a poltergeist, a garage ghost, if you will. This, you're just going to have to read or watch. So I'm just going to explain because there was audio, but it wouldn't let me use it. So, this seems to be some sort of water. It's supposed to it's meant to wash your hands. So there's the soap dispenser, the paper towels, and the sink. The person in the video is telling you don't use these because this actually it recycles the water. So, like, you go in the porta potty, you go wash your hands, it goes down there, and then it just cycles on through, gets filtered, and then it comes out to clean the next person's hands. So, I mean, do with that what you will, but keep that in mind if you ever see these things. But it gets worse. It gets worse. So his friend needed to go in, runs on in. Seems like he needs some help. So his buddy goes over. Opens the door for him. He doesn't come out. This dude is in it. How did we get here? Anyone else have questions? I have a theory. Okay. My theory is that this is just for video's sake. Because one, if you were going to the bathroom, you would lock it, right? Normal people lock it. So he somehow got in there, but anticipated he would need the help, so he didn't lock it. It was just unlocked. Okay. That's a thin argument. But also, you see him in there, but you kind of just see him in there. You don't really see the water and this and that. This and that. Okay. But then after he's out, you see the part where the toilet seat has some drops on it from obviously the chaos of it all. And his boots are in there. Like, he didn't take them off in there. He obviously took them off later and put them in there. So I kind of think this video may have just been just for show, but I also thought it was very good information not to use those recycled water situations for hand washing. Maybe for something else, but not that. just want to pause here for a minute and say that I thought that Oreo thing was a weather vane. I don't know why. I don't know why. Careful what you guys are consuming and supporting. That's all I can say. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, share with your friends, and hey, while you're at it, maybe like the video. Okay, we're gonna get back to it. Onward.
That's why nothing seems like it matters.
Is anyone else like too aware? Like I'm too aware that this is all temporary, this is all part of the human experience, and that nothing matters, and that everything is subconscious programming, and everything is made up. Like the days of the week, that's made up. Monday, someone decided this day is called Monday, this day is called Tuesday. It's all made up. Like humans made everything up. Like money, it's just made up. It doesn't mean anything. Like there are so many different things, like road signs, the street names, like somebody just decided this street is named that name. Like it's so stupid. Like it's really hard for me to live my life and just be a normal person because I'm just too aware. I'm always seeing things from a background perspective. Like I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing through the programming, seeing through the matrix. Does anyone else know what I'm saying, or am I just crazy? Please.
What do you guys think? I do not think she's crazy. I have thoughts like this all the time. The only difference between everything she said and how I feel is I don't think that it's pointless or meaningless. I do agree that we made Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We made up these words. We made up these symbols. We made a lot of this up. I mean, we did. We named streets, but that doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything. It means something. You can't think that everything is pointless and meaningless. You have to not be like that. What's really important in this world is being kind to each other, being there for each other, and just trying to be positive through it all. I mean, just being a good person is what matters. That's why we're here. And hopefully to make a difference. This next video is very sensitive. I'm going to go ahead and give a trigger warning, give you every chance in the world to skip on ahead. I will make sure that my chapters are well beyond if you don't want to see anything like this, but this has to do with some C stuff and some S stuff. It's a terrible story, and I really debated on even including it, but I think that increasingly so, we need to be aware of the dangers out there, especially when you feel safe. Not everything is as safe as you think, so. I don't know what happened there, but you did not need to hear it. All right. So last warning, getting to it.
On Pornhub with hundreds of thousands of views after being kidnapped. Viewers' discretion is advised. Rose Kalemba decided to go on a walk in the summer of 2009 in a small town in Ohio. She usually did this to clear her head as she felt safe in the area, but then a man appeared from the shadows. Holding up a knife to her, he forced her into his car. Sitting in the passenger seat was another man who was 19 years old. They drove to a house on the other side of town. Over the next 12 hours, she was SA'd continuously. While the two men did horrible acts to her, a third one filmed the assault. Rose was in shock and she could barely breathe. At some point, one of the men took out a laptop and showed Rose videos of other attacks on women. She clearly wasn't the first. Forcing herself to collect her senses, Rose began to talk. She said she wouldn't reveal their identities if they let her go. Taking her back in the car, the men drove her and dropped her off in a random street 30 minutes away from her house. She finally walked in the door of her house and her father and some extended family were having lunch, and she explained everything to them. Her dad immediately called the police. At the hospital, hospital, she was treated for what she had gone through. The police had no leads on who had done it, and she was too scared to tell the truth. When she was released the next day, she attempted to take her life. Fortunately, her brother found her in time, but that wasn't the end of it. A few months later, Rose was browsing MySpace and a few friends were sharing a link. She was tagged in them. She clicked on the link and it was directed to Pornhub. She felt sick to her stomach as she saw several videos of the attack on her. One of the videos had over 400,000 views. Over the next 6 months,
I just want to say there's a bunch of sickos out there. Sick. Really, really sick.
she would email Pornhub saying that she was a minor and this was assault. There was no response. In this period of time, she was worried with every single stranger she made eye contact with, wondering if they've seen her videos. Then she had an idea. She posed as a lawyer threatening legal action if they didn't take it down. Within 48 hours, the videos had disappeared. Months later, Rose revealed their identities. They went to court and only got a misdemeanor. You guys, I'm telling you, when you watch porn, you don't know what you're watching.
I told you it was going to be rough. I just had to put it up because one of my things is I love just going out right before dusk, things like, you know, that really nice time of day, especially in the autumn, and just kind of walking around and feeling that fresh air and just breathing it all in. And maybe it's not that safe anymore. I used to go for jogs all the time when I had my first apartment and just around, and I'm very lucky that nothing like that ever happened to me, but it easily could have. I mean, it just happened to her. It's just so sad. And then as she's trying to pick up the pieces from this to have it sent to her and have to watch it, and God. Be careful.
The night vision goggles.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Explain this to me.
This is weird, dude. You know, night vision now, it's green.
Yep.
But in the Vietnam War, the night vision goggles that they were issued were red light, and like multiple people in the U.S. military that were using them were seeing what they're reporting as flying demons.
Ooh, stop.
And so there's an instance where they're flying these helicopters in Vietnam. It was a safe zone, no hostility. And then the gunner in the back just started shooting, and the pilot's like, "What are you shooting at?" And all the other helicopters were like, "What?" And they start shooting.
They all saw the same thing?
This guy, he was like panicked, and he's like sweating, and like it looked like he was like seeing a demon.
Yeah.
And like, "What are you shooting at?" And he's like, "The demon." And like this giant winged demon creature was like flying at him. And then people on the ground in the jungles that were using it, they were also seeing like these demonic looking, freaky looking creatures. And so the military banned those night vision goggles.
What?
And they replaced them with green light.
So you just don't get to know. Have you guys heard anything about this? I've never heard of this, but I would not be shocked. I think there's very little that would shock me as far as what's being hidden.
Released a balloon one day with her name and address on a note. Apparently, this was actually her grandpa's idea to help her find a pen pal. But although they figured that nothing would come out of it, what happened next just blew everyone's minds. You see, around a week after Laura Buxton released her balloon, she suddenly got a letter from Laura Buxton. As it turns out, after floating for more than 400 miles across England, her balloon had just landed in some random guy's backyard. But right as this guy was about to toss it out, he suddenly recognized the name. Somehow, he actually just so happened to have a neighbor named Laura Buxton, so he simply tried returning the balloon to her. But since she had never even seen this balloon before, she was really confused. And when this Laura Buxton finally wrote back to the address on the note, something absolutely crazy was discovered. You see, not only were these two girls both Laura Buxton, they had the exact same eye color, age, and build. They also owned the exact same pets, a gray rabbit, a guinea pig with a mark on its butt, and a 3-year-old black lab. On top of that, when these two girls met for the first time, they somehow both wore jeans with pink sweaters and brought their guinea pigs. And both Laura Buxtons were even the exact same height of 4'7", which was really tall for their age. They ended up becoming close friends and still are to this day. And Snopes actually verified that all these details really are true.
That is some wild, wild stuff, man. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Wow. That was meant to be. Wow.
Little sister was friends with a girl who went on a date.
with a guy. And they're hanging out. He's super charming. I gotta get all my facts on the story. I'm gonna tell you the story, and then I'm gonna let my sister fact check it.
Okay.
I hope I'm telling it correctly. But basically, she goes on a date with this guy. The guy's super charming, and they have a great night. And you know, she goes back to his apartment that night, and he's like, "Hey, can I give you a massage?" And then as she got back to his apartment, she just started getting like weird vibes. She's like, something feels off. He's like, "Can I give you a massage?" She's like, "Sure." So she starts massaging her shoulders. She's kind of just feeling like everything's just feeling odd. And she's like, "I got to get out of here." And he gets a little weird. Like, "No, please don't leave. Sorry. Like, I'm weird, whatever it is." She leaves. She goes, her skin starts itching like crazy the next day. She goes to the doctor the next day, and he does a test on her skin. And it turns out that it's like a black market lotion that breaks down skin for human consumption. This man was rubbing lotion on her body to eat her. So the doctor's like, "You got to give me this person's address, and you should call the police." They go to this guy's house, and he had several girls' bodies in the house.
Don't ever let someone you don't know give you a massage because they might be trying to eat you. Does it never end? This predatory behavior is just... I don't even know what to say. Okay, this has no sound as well. I almost didn't include it, but it's so weird. Ready? So she took the batteries out, and when it was still doing it, she cut the actual line of power. And it's still moving. The woman said that every time this doll is near that doll, it goes nuts like this. And so that's what made her take out the batteries and cut the line and all that. What do you think? What do you think? I'm trying to think of how it could happen without any of that going on. Any ideas? Help me debunk that one. And then, time for a funny. This one, it just melted my heart because of just how funny everybody else thought it was. You'll see. You'll see what I mean. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just listen.
What is it? Riley! All we did was put a radio in. 7 hours. Why does my clutch work the starter?
That's what I mean. They just thought it was so funny. And I just put this in here because I think it's so great that 7 hours after trying to put a radio in, they can be this lighthearted about it because it clearly didn't work right. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you had fun here with me. Hope you come back tomorrow because there will be another one. And have a safe night. Have a safe night. Be kind to each other. Be kind to animals. And I just want to say goodnight to my grandmom.